Hello, fellow flamenco enthusiasts, and welcome to the 1 year anniversary of Everything Flamenco. I know I have been MIA the past few weeks. Life has just been happening, and I've also been quite busy preparing for a Galeos workshop that we held with the Cape Town Flamenco Collective at the Solo Flamenco Pineland School over the past weekend. It was really so much fun, but preparing for that and work and life and everything, I just haven't had time to do proper episodes. And when I issue them, I really want to do them justice and make sure that it is a learning experience, but also enjoyable for you. So yeah, life has just been crazy, but I had to take the time out to issue this little special bonus episode today. I guess I'm going to call it episode 56 just for logistical purposes, but in essence, this is our 1 year anniversary. I actually cannot believe it. I mean, 12 months of stories, of learning curves, of deep dives, going down many rabbit holes, and more than a few moments where I wondered what on earth did I get myself into. I still am wondering sometimes what did I get myself into. Um, Today I'm just gonna reflect on what this year has taught me, not just about podcasting, but also about flamenco, maybe even a little bit about myself. I don't know how long this episode is going to be. We'll just see where this goes. So I've just prepared a few questions, things that have maybe been asked in passing by people, but also with help from a bit of ChatGPT, to be honest. But that is just relating to the questions. So the answers are coming true and fast here. I didn't prepare, except for the questions that I drafted, I didn't prepare any answers. So this is going to be shooting straight from the hip or talking straight from the heart, so to speak. So I invite you to take this little 1 year walk together with me through everything that we have experienced with this podcast this year. So let's talk the 1 year anniversary of Everything Flamenco. Okay, so I'm just going to get straight into it. The first question is, what made you start the podcast in the first place? So, what made me start and where I am at the moment is probably two completely different things. So, I absolutely love listening to podcasts. I listen to many different genres and styles, but with my flamenco journey and starting up a flamenco school as well and getting more into the flamenco scene again after not taking a break but kind of stepping away for a tiny bit, I was really looking for something flamenco related that I can listen to while I'm driving the long road to work every morning, or while I'm cooking or making dinner. Yeah, cooking, making dinner, uh, just working in the house or whatever. Not really thinking about the fact that once I start this little podcast, there's going to be so much recording, so many takes and retakes and editing that by the time that I've published the episode, I can basically recite it from top to bottom. And I definitely do not like the sound of my own voice. So creating something flamenco related was the beginning of it all. And having a flamenco podcast that is number one in English, because you do get quite a few Spanish ones on different platforms. but they speak so fast and it's in Spanish. So unless you are fluent, it's very difficult. Um, there's a nice one in Italian as well, but I mean, it's in Italian. So I just wanted something in the universal language, a language that people can understand. And then talking about the topics that I like to talk about, or topics that I would have liked to hear about, but that's not addressed necessarily. So not always just flamenco related, but also just dance challenges in general. Um, like that little section I did on dance injuries, for example. That's the kind of things that I wish I knew when I got injured and what I would have liked to hear. So that's also why I would still encourage you to let me know if there's anything that you would really like to hear about. Not that I know everything, but I can do research and yeah, talk about it on this podcast. I would really like to engage with everyone more. I also know this audience is very, very small, but I appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, this is the first question, and I'm diving into it so much. I drafted this questionnaire or list of questions quite some time ago, so I can't even remember what other questions are coming up, and I'm scared that I'm going to repeat myself, so I'll just stop with that one there. So the next one is, can you describe how you felt releasing that very first episode? Ooh, that happened very quickly. I was super scared. I my sound equipment, it's still not the best, but it is better than it was at the beginning. I didn't even think about that too much. I was just excited to do something that was very close to my heart and still is very close to my heart. I always had the thing about if you can't find what you're looking for, you need to create it. So that's what I tried to do. And I was very nervous. I didn't even want to look at, the episode when it was uploaded and to see if anybody was actually going to listen to it or not. But I must say, the support from the flamenco community in the Western Cape was really amazing at that stage. It still is. I just think life happens and people don't always have time to listen to a podcast, and which I completely understand. Please don't see this as an episode that is going to guilt trip you into listening to my voice. But yeah, to get it started, I really got a lot of support from the flamenco community here, which was really beautiful. So mm, yeah, this one's difficult. How has your relationship with flamenco changed over this past year? Ooh, that's a very heavy question, to be honest. I I don't think that I've ever learned as much as I learned about flamenco this year. Not only about the history, but also spending more time listening to music, watching videos, reading books, talking about it even if it's just talking to myself. It really brought me closer, and more I have gotten such a deep, deep respect for the art form. And I think one thing, I don't know, there's different opinions about things. It's also respecting different opinions of people about flamenco. For me personally, more and more this year, I've also realized that, we are not in Spain. We want to recreate Spain, and you can do as much as you can to stay close and to respect the art form. But we are in South Africa. I mean, while I'm sitting here, I can hear the hardidas flying over. Um, you know, we've got our climate is different. We eat different foods. We do different things, but we still try to respect the art form. And you cannot do it 100% like it is in Spain because we are not in Spain. But just to honor that uh, culture and everything and bring your own little flavor in, but without killing the vibe, so to speak. So my relationship with flamenco, I've really gotten even closer to it. I've got such a deep love for it. And also for me, it is kind of reaching out to people that are scared, that really want to try it, and or that feel that they may be too old. They stopped dancing a while ago, many, many, many years ago, sometimes even, and they scared to start up again, to encourage those people to come and really experience a beautiful sense of community. I mean, it's something that you cannot explain to people unless you've experienced it yourself. And it's not only that, it's also, I think, at the age that I'm at, and many of my students are also at, it's you really want to do something for yourself. And flamenco really is for yourself. When you get into that studio, you dance with like minded people that understand that life is hard and sometimes you can't make it to class. And sometimes your memory it fails you and you can't remember a step that you've been training for 6 months. Um, yeah, just that sense of community and building togetherness and supporting each other. I mean, the support that I felt this year in the flamenco community has just been incredible. And I really hope that that is something that I can also carry forward and pay forward. Yeah, so that's my relationship with flamenco over the year. The next one is what surprised you most about podcasting? I think how much work it actually is. You guys will be shocked at how much time and effort it actually takes to put an episode together. It might sound so effortless, and you might be semi-familiar with the topic, but you do need to research to support your statements. Um, you need to have a general idea of what you're going to talk about in the podcast episode, what the format is going to be, that it flows. And then there's the editing. I mean, I've had bad days where I don't want to get into it because I don't want to make you aware of the things that I do sometimes, but the habits you pick up that you're not realizing what you are saying or doing while you are recording that you pick up afterwards while you are editing. And where it can sometimes take you, if you do one take, it can take you maybe half an hour to record an episode, but it can literally take you a whole week of editing to get that episode ready for posting. Um, then there's music sometimes and planning for the year. And then, you still have a house run, you've got a job to do, you've got flamenco to go to. It becomes very tough. And also finding resources that you can use to support the topic that you're going to talk about. So, yeah, it is hard work. And I have a lot of respect for people that are one man or one woman shows like myself that do everything themselves. And you also have to compete with so many other podcasts that have script writers and researchers and producers and sound engineers and editors. you know, um, it's really tough. So I would like you to ask you, or I'd like to ask you to just be gracious, especially when you listen to little podcasts like mine and others. So, what did I learn about myself through the process is that I I think I have more respect for flamenco than I ever realized that I did. I've got a bigger love for it than I ever thought that I would have. I am pedantic about detail to my detriment sometimes, because you will always hear me apologize if something is incorrect, because I've got such a fear that I'm going to say something wrong and that I will disrespect the art or the people, because I'm not from there and because I've only been to Spain once. And that was even before I started dancing flamenco. So, yeah. The next one is any unexpected joys or setbacks that taught you something valuable. Unexpected joys, many times through this year, because the podcast is so small, I really wanted to give up. And it is just amazing how the universe works, that just at that time where I'm feeling at my lowest, and I'm not talking to anybody about it, not even my husband, not my friends, no one, that just randomly out of nowhere, or else probably not random, but just out of nowhere, someone will send me a beautiful comment on either on the Instagram page or here on the platform to tell me something nice, or someone might mention something in one of the classes or at rehearsals or wherever that would just tell me, okay, if I can at least reach one person, then I've done my job. And that is what motivates me to keep going. So, yeah, um, that's about it. Sorry. So, proud moments, which episodes or moments stand out to you as highlights? Well, one that was really, well, there were two. So, one was the episode that we did where we reflected on the year at the end of last year. And I was able to speak to many of my fellow flamenco dancers to hear what was special about the year for them. And I cried so many tears because it really touched my heart how flamenco really affects other people as well in many positive ways, and how it helps them to work through challenges of their own. The other one is the episode that I did about La Chunga that passed away, and her episode, yeah, it really touched me because she was such an grounded and artistic person, and her family that runs her La Chunga page on Instagram actually contacted me on Instagram to tell me how much they appreciated the episode that I did for her, and how much it meant to them. And that really touched me. I first thought it was a hoax, I couldn't believe that that actually happened. And I didn't post anything about it because I wanted to respect the family, but I will still mention it here because that was huge for me. Um, there's been a few others as well, but those are really the ones that really stood out for me. Did anything someone said or did in response to the podcast touch you deeply? I didn't mention this episode, but this one also touched me deeply, and that was the one I did about South African Freedom Day and comparing that to the Gitano fight for identity. So, one of the listeners sent me a message on this episode, um, where she said, you know, she struggles with life, and thanks to flamenco, she found a voice. And listening to that episode, it made her feel not alone. And that just almost broke my heart, but it also made me thankful that I went against all my doubts and started this little podcast, because if an episode that I made with heart, but do not think necessarily that it will really affect anyone in any way, touches someone like that, then, and that's just someone that commented. It might be that there's someone listening that's not commenting or doesn't have the courage to do so, then that is what's going to keep me going. So what has made you feel most proud or connected to your audience? I guess, yeah, it's just the day-to-day interactions, getting a comment here and there, maybe a message on Instagram. Like I say, it's a very, very small community that's listening. Um, it's just those so surprising messages that I get. I sometimes get a WhatsApp, which is also lovely. Sometimes I cry. It's just honest. Um, it just makes me feel. It doesn't make me feel seen, but it makes me proud that I am reaching someone that maybe needs to hear what I have to say. Did you learn something about flamenco through the research that excited you? Oh, there's a lot. I guess it's so many things. Every little thing I learn is interesting. And then as soon as I think that I've got it now, then I find another resource that maybe contradicts what I thought or what I thought I learned, and then just adds on to that. And that kind of makes me excited, not only for the podcast, because there will always be episodes, topics to talk about, but also for myself because flamenco is a lifelong journey of learning, not only in the dancing, but also the history and everything that surrounds it. So there's so much more to go. And I don't think that we should be frustrated with the fact that there's so much more to learn. It should be exciting. And that excites me. What has been hard emotionally, practically? Oh, fitting this in with life, eh? As I said, it is a load of work. It is a load of work. And if you want to give everything that you have in your job, in your home, when you go to dancing, when you teach dancing, and then you want to run a podcast on the side, but you also want to give everything there, it really is a lot. And it is very hard to balance and make time for relationships and running a home and things like that. So you must really have a very, very strong love for this to do this, or have the necessary support. Either then have additional people helping you with a podcast, or not have a demanding job to be able to do this fully. It's really, really been tough. What kept you going when you felt discouraged? Well, definitely the listeners, and sometimes even the excitement of an episode I'm researching. So if it's something that I'm really excited about learning about, that can keep me going when I feel discouraged. If you could say one thing to someone who's just starting flamenco or feeling stuck, what would it be? Ooh, I'm no expert by any means, but I would say know that it's going to be a learning journey. It's not going to come, it's not going to come easy. It's not a quick learn as, you might think when you're watching all these videos and things. It is tough, but it is super rewarding. And if you can find the right classes, the right teacher, this community is going to become so close to your heart, and you're going to become so addicted that you would not want to leave. So, and if you feel stuck, just stick with it. You will have a breakthrough. And when you then look back on that time when you felt like that, like once you have that breakthrough and you look back, you will be so proud of what you've accomplished. What do you hope your podcast offers to someone listening? I want listeners to feel seen. I want people to be able to learn something beautiful about flamenco, perhaps also from the viewpoint of someone that is not Spanish or not Gypsy Spanish. I'm not Spanish or Gypsy Spanish. I'm South African. I was born and raised here in Cape Town. Um, Although I still feel that there's somewhere in my family tree, there will be some Spanish connection somewhere, although I haven't been able to find it yet. But yeah, people like me, someone maybe that feels a bit removed from communities and things like that. Because, I mean, South Africa is far away from everything else. We've got a beautiful flamenco community here, but it's not as big as the ones, say, in Japan or in America, where, you get flamenco dancers from Spain going to visit and teaching there all the time. So for me, I want flamenco dancers that face challenges like me and might not have the means to go to Spain or don't live in big countries where Spanish flamenco is more accessible, to be proud of what they have accomplished with the means that they have, and yeah, to feel seen. What would you love to explore next? Topics, formats, collaborations? Well, I wish I can get the funds to buy a better sound system. That would be a good beginning. And yeah, explore a bit more of the different palos and where they come from and how we should be interpreting them. That's something that I'm really looking forward to exploring a bit more in the next year. Um, what I'm dreaming of for the next year is, it sounds simple, but it's going to be very difficult, and that is to actually consistently bring out episodes, whichever period I decide on. Um, this started off with it doing episodes twice a week, and then it became once a week, and now it's as and when I have time. But I'd like to be a bit more consistent where that is concerned. So we'll see how that goes. So those are all the questions that I have for now. I just wanted to thank you, every single one of you that's listened, that's maybe shared an episode, if you have shared it with someone, that sent me a message, maybe mention something to me in passing when you see me, or simply just carry flamenco in your heart. I really want to thank you. This is my little baby. I am very proud of it, although I don't listen back on it because I don't like hearing my voice, as I said, but I am proud of what we've built here, even though it is a small community. I really hope that I can continue with it, that I will have the time and the means to do so. But I appreciate every single one of you. And if you are someone that is thinking about starting flamenco or wondering whether to continue, I hope that you will either join, and if you're wondering whether you should continue, I hope that you will stay. There's really space for everyone in flamenco, and we want to build this community, and I am here for you. I really love getting messages from anyone that listens. It means the world to me. I hope this episode wasn't too self-indulgent, but that it gave you a little glimpse into what's going on behind the scenes. I'm very proud to say that this little podcast is 1 year old today, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Ole.